Hi, interior design community. This is Ann McDonald, and I just wanted to do this week's quick tip in the same format. The video format is easy. It's super casual. I'm just literally using my phone to record this from my desk. So pardon the pardon the casual nature of this. One of the things that we're working on right now is really helping designers and architects and other creatives develop multiple revenue streams from their actual creative brand. And one of the biggest stumbling blocks I see is that creatives tend to organize their brands as what's, not as who's. What brand would be, I am a painter, or I am an author, or I am an interior designer, I am an architect. That's a what. And what happens is there's a dead end to that. If instead you flip the switch and you think in terms of developing an I am statement or an identity for your brand around a who, a lot of times people will refer to this as an ideal client. What happens is the depth of your potential revenue streams is limitless because it's centered around a living, breathing, metron, whatever you want to call it, ideal client type. And it's easy to kind of flex it over the seasons, depending on how your brand grows and changes, and morphs from year to year. So the fastest, easiest way, in my opinion, to get to an I am or identity statement for your brand that you can then very easily draw out revenue streams from is to answer these two questions. Let me say that again. The purpose of going through this exercise is to develop an I am or identity statement for your brand that you will then very easily just extract multiple streams of revenues, products and services from that statement that you can then turn into recurring revenue. We'll take another couple of weeks to kind of go over this whole process, but the fastest way to get there, in my opinion, is to come up with about 5 to 10, maybe 15 if you can, things that you want to serve for a particular who in your brand, and then 5 to 15 things that you can solve for your particular brand for a who. Now, you've got to think in terms of a who as a living, breathing thing. You can't think, I am an interior designer, and so I solve a space planning problem. That doesn't work because that's a dead end. Because once the space planning problem is solved, there's no other revenue stream to extract. But if you think of your who, if you think of your brand in terms of a who, you're solving for a particular who, then because it's a living, breathing person who is consistently growing and changing, there are always multiple streams of revenue that your brand can develop for that particular person or that particular type. You may be solving for, single men who are living in New York City, spatial planning as they are either upsizing or downsizing. Right? So what you've done there is you've created a who that consistently has things that will need to be changed or updated, where you could not only develop the initial space planning product, you could, procure the furniture and do the installation. You could also provide a recurring revenue stream having to do with upkeep or a seasonal calendar, or the 15 things that you need to make sure you have this season, and you could do that 4 times a year for 4 different seasons. And that could be a very simple recurring revenue stream that's maybe $9 a month, which doesn't sound like a lot, but there are lots of people who are living in cities who might fit that metric over, the continental United States. You target the United States, you target Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, and there you go. All of a sudden, you've got 100,000 people on your mailing list. They're each paying you $9 a month for these seasonal updates, and there you go. So I really want you to understand that it may seem like a really simple exercise, but it's a huge, there's a huge upside to this whole process. So take some time this week to do it, and then next week I'll diagram out for you how we actually develop the I am statement for individual brands, and then after that I'll show you how we extract the revenue streams, which is kind of the process that I just went through. All right, have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.